Mom! Welcome to the Magical Mystery School, and thank you so much for coming back. So, we're going to do Symbols of the Tarot, class number 24. Yay! So, anyway, I'm going to do just basically spreads and layouts, so I thought I'd just start with the camera pulled down this time. And the focus, it seems to go in and out a little bit, but it always comes back, so I'm happy about that. Okay, so the first spread I want to talk to you about has to do going back to your astrology again. So this is a really great one. Let's say you're a sun sign in Gemini. So the Gemini card is the Lovers, right? And then let's say your ascendant is Cancer. And remember, you can get your free chart. I did that on the last class, but just Google free astrology chart. And that would be the Chariot is for Cancer. And then say your moon is in Virgo, and that would be the Hermit card. And here's the glyphs for those three signs. And like I said, you can almost see the glyph in this key, basically. So what this is doing is these are the three most important parts of your astrology, right? Your sun, your ascendant, and your moon. And you want these to harmonize as much as possible. So if you're a very, quick-witted, mercantile, they call it, Gemini, is mutable air, you're busy around the neighborhood, thinking, real fast thinker, and funny too, very witty. The rising sign is who people, when they first meet you, this is what they see. So Cancer's kind of the mother of this astrology. So you're going to see a kind of a motherly figure, but also she knows her boundaries. She's got this wall here. So she knows the difference between the inner and the outer. Very active. It's cardinal water. So even though it's kind of an emotional sign, it's also very much, out there doing things, willing to do things. So she's out there running around her chariot, experiencing the field of life, basically. And then interior, the moon, because the moon is who you are when you shut the door, is Virgo energy. Now this is mutable earth. So, and you can see, now first I should say Virgo is often, the analytical, critical thinking, very highly intelligent too, along with Gemini. But when we look at the key here, we can see this isolation. So a Virgo moon person does need time alone. So if you're the kind of person, you've got this busy life, you're up, you're getting everybody ready, you go to work, you pick up kids after school, you come home, you fix dinner, you get everybody ready for bed, blah, 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 and day in, day out. Especially if you're a Virgo moon, you're going to need to talk to your partner and say, hey, I need an hour or two every week to just be quiet, to be either at home alone by myself or to go out in nature somewhere, something to just get in tune with yourself. So, those are the kinds of things looking at tarot can come through in just a split second as opposed to reading about it and that kind of thing. Now, some other things you can do to expand this reading. So if Gemini was your sun, you could put the sun card right next to it. Virgo, the moon sign in the Hermit, and the moon is represented by the High Priestess. So again, secrets sort of under the surface, basically, is a subconscious here. So again, reinforcing that you need some quiet time for sure. And something that really pops out, if this really was a real one, real reading, what this would really pop out to me as Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo, even though this is mutable earth, mutable air. So we could put the Mercury or the Magician key in here too to help us bridge this gap, to get more information and more understanding. So you can kind of see how this reading works. It's a great reading for just helping you harmonize your own energy. Okay. So let's go ahead and start talking about divination. And again, remember, divination basically means a message from the divine, right? And a good thing to do with divination, I'll flip these over so you won't get too distracted. And you can see when I'm doing when I'm going from one reading to the next, I'll actually put these in and really separate them. I will shuffle, but I still like to separate them quite a bit. So I would write, and even if I'm doing this for myself, I would write the question down, and because I can tend to get off to the down the rabbit hole and kind of like, now what am I thinking? What's the point of this question again? Those kinds of things. Now, in the tradition I learned my tarot in, we were taught to not even ask what the question is. When someone wants to do a reading with us, we do it cold. We don't even ask them. And most readers these days, they do want to have some sort of concept, a context, maybe, of what's going on, what's your focus, that kind of thing, to sort of get the reading going. So just to let you know, cold readings do, though, work great. Now, for shuffling, now I've got these little teeny tiny hands. So I have to shuffle like that. I can't even ow, that's too hard. Okay, so I shuffle mostly like this with my tarot cards. But feel free also to just shuffle, this way. That's fine too. This is just me personally. I don't want to bend my cards, so that's another reason I like shuffling this way. Okay. Now, you'll also see people, they'll knock the cards to get the energy cleared out and straightened up. That's fine. You'll see people and they'll wave them over burning incense sticks or lighted candles, something like that. And that's totally fine too. That'll clear the energy. And especially if you're reading different people, I would definitely do that in between readings for sure. I picked this up from Soul Print, Cindy from Soul Print. She's a great tarot card reader, and I've had a reading with her, and it was excellent. She's on YouTube, and Soul Print is the name of her channel. And what she recommends is, and this is, I've just made this little verbal thing, what works for me. So I would encourage you to figure out something that works for you. But I just say, angels and guides, please give me some insight and information about blah, blah. Okay, it could be a question, a person, or literally for years, I did, angels and guides, please give me some inspiration for today. And I would just pull a key for the day. And then I always cut with the left hand to the left. And again, that's the way I was taught in my tradition. Like that. 1, 2, 3. And then I start my reading. Now, in case you guys haven't noticed, I'm kind of a minimalist. I like doing it the easiest and simplest way. I just love a good one-card pull. Yo, okay. Well, something's coming to an end here, but something will be rebirthed. So, these scary cards they still kind of, whoa, okay, all right. But just remember, it doesn't mean a physical death necessarily. It could mean just a death of something, and probably something good. Now, I must also admit, I have gotten where I also like looking at what's underneath. So this to me is like the outer world. This is what I'm going to be dealing, in the self-conscious world, the conscious world outside. And this is more what's going on underneath and what's going on, maybe even hidden from me a little bit. So I need to kind of keep an eye out for this one. So this is the Emperor. So these things that I'm letting go of, or notice here too how the King, the Emperor, is on the ground and is being walked on by this horse. So maybe there's something going on with a boss, or I just need to be a little bit more aware of, or maybe I'm being too much of the boss and I'm needing to cut down on a little bit of my telling people what to do or something like that. So anyway, so that's how you can do just a good old one easy schmeezy one card pull. Now I would do the same thing with the shuffling and the cutting, but the next one, real simple spread I want to show you is a 3-card spread, and that's just simply past, present, oh interesting, and future. Oh my goodness, I have to get all the scary cards for the video, don't I? Is this kind of straight? Okay, so in the past, now this is our Pisces card too, right? The moon. We're howling at the moon. We may have in the past been a little not sure what's going on. Things are hidden. Things aren't quite in the bright light yet. We're not sure. We're on the path. We're on the right path here, but there may be some things that we're not sure about. Oh, sorry about my clock there. I didn't pay any attention to that when I started. And then, interestingly enough, what's happening in the present here, this is the Neptune card, and which is the ruler of Pisces. So this is a key that's telling us, to be patient. There's a little pause going on, and to also look at things from a different perspective. Look at how you can change your way you're looking at something. So here we've kind of come out of some confusion. Maybe we need to settle down a little bit and just kind of take a time out. Think about different ways. Maybe things aren't as bad as I thought, or maybe things are worse than I thought. And with the future here, with the devil, again, the devil is our, is our Capricorn card. It can stand for addictions and being chained to things. But also remember, the devil also rules mirth in my training. I haven't heard that in a lot of other ones. So to me, this would say maybe after we get a chance to take a little time out and look at things differently, and we can just start, there's all these people that are just chained to this, and that's ridiculous. They can just take those chains off. And look at this ridiculous character I've been so afraid of. See, I'm changing my mind. I'm looking at things differently. He's barely can fit on this cube. He's all discombobulated. He's got a bat's ear and a donkey's ear and a woman's breast and a man's breast. I mean, what's going on here? So maybe this sort of being able to look at things differently will work out best for us. Okay. Kind of tough when you don't have a question there, but that's another really cool just present, future, past, present, and future that's really fun. Okay. All right. Another layout that I really like, then again, you would go through that same shuffling and this one, though, is more when you're doing a cold reading on someone. So again, this is all about cutting the deck. So I'm going to cut this again with my left hand to the left. Oh, before I do this, I'm sorry. I want to talk about significators. Okay, now significators are keys that represent the querent or the person asking the question. So it could be you, it could be somebody else. And one way you can pick a significator is by what's their astrology sign. So let's just say we got okay, here's for a Sag, right? So we just pull out the Temperance card. And that would be the significator. The other thing you can do is use one of the court cards if you're using the minor arcana too. So with the court cards, men are represented by the king. The queen represents women. And then we've got the magician, we've got the knight and the page. So sometimes in the modern decks, the knight and the page are represented by princes and princesses. So we can say this would be older men, older women, younger men, younger women. But typically this is just, adult men and women. And then this would be all people, say like in their 20s and 30s. They're young, they can dash about on their horses and such. Excuse me. Okay. And the page would represent like adolescents or children. Okay. Now, and there's 4 different suits. So let's say you can also start to spread that out a little bit by Pentacles might be a dark-haired woman, whereas the Wands, this is Pentacles rule earth, and Wands rule fire. So maybe a woman with red highlights in her hair, whether they're brown, she's kind of auburn or whatever, might represent that woman. So you can kind of use your own skills, your own observation skills, your own intuitive skills to set out a significator for using the court keys. But you can use those too. Okay, sorry about that. So let's go back to I was going to cut the cards. And this time I'm going to do it in 4 piles. And I'm going to split the deck in half. And then I come back to the first one and make another pile. Come back to the second pile and make a 4th pile. So each one of these piles have a significant. This one is work, outer world, your ideas, what you want to get done, that kind of thing. This is love, emotions, marriage, pleasure, all those good things. This would be troubles or losses, fights, any kind of challenges that you're having throughout life. And then the final one is your material goods, physical attributes. It could even be your physical health, and but also money and that kind of thing, and just material goods in general. And then what you would do is you could just turn over the top card key, and that will give you, oh my goodness, ideas about what's happening in that part of the person's life. The devil is determined to show up today, isn't he? So we could just say, your intemperance, you're balancing ideas back and forth, back and forth. This is a Sag card. Or maybe you're wanting to travel abroad out in your career. Love, if I got something like this up, I would say, yes, something's getting ready to happen. Something's coming down here. Either you're going to go to your partner and talk about something, or your partner's going to come talk to you. The Wheel of Fortune, this is also our karma, how life is going to work here. So this one I would say, this is our challenge pile. Whatever it is, if you're, whatever challenge you're experiencing, this is, you've kind of, this is something that you've kind of been doing. So watch out for, your own activities kind of coming back to bite you, basically. And then for your material things, again, I would just say, this card also represents addictions and that kind of thing, that maybe you're too attached to material goods. That could be one thing. Maybe you do have some sort of addiction that you need to think about and deal with, or maybe you're having some money issues. But whatever it is, the more you can remove those chains and walk away, the better off you're going to be. Now, so this can, like, if you're doing a cold reading, you can start to kind of like check in with the person and kind of say, oh, okay, now how is that? Is that sounding right to you? And then what you want to do is also look for the significator. Let's say that we're talking to a Libra in this case. So I'm looking for the Justice card, right? So I look through my piles here. Of course, it's going to be towards the, here she is. So if I was reading a Libra, I would say, though, out of all these things, love, pleasure, romance, your marriage, whatever, is the topmost thing in your mind right now. Now, if the person looks at you like you're crazy, like you don't know what you're talking about or something like that, or you're just way off the mark, this might be the time to just say, well, we tried, but this, I'm not feeling it, you're not feeling it, so let's go on and move on to something different, right? Let's stop this, basically. And if you've asked for money, maybe this is the time to just give them their money back and say, I don't think we're getting the vibes here that we need to get, and that kind of thing. So so that's another kind of interesting spread to do to kind of get some information there. See if you're on the right track, basically. Okay. Now, the next spread I want to go through is called the Celtic Cross, and it is probably the most well-known. It's in every tarot book. It can, it's a classic. Okay, so you go through the same thing with the shuffling and the cutting. Okay, good. Came back into focus. And what you do is you just start out with the significator, and this is the way I actually like letting tarot tell me what the significator is. So what I'm seeing here's a person that's, that's fairly, internal. In fact, when I look at the person across the table from me and I see this card, I'm not sure they're telling me the whole story. Okay, stuff's hidden. Okay, crossing, and this is this is considered your challenge card. So here, this is the Cancer card. So for this person, and you also read this card as though possibly as though it's reversed. And as you've noticed, I do not do reversals, but that's just the way I was trained. There's going to be a lot of other readers that do reversals. They actually, when they do their shuffling, they actually mix them around so that they have, instead of one deck of tarot, they've got two whole decks. I got enough to deal with just with one straight up deck. But if I do get a card that's reversed, that's a red light. That's like saying, pay attention, this is important, because it's rare. Okay, so you could read this almost as if it was reversed. So when I see this, I see that here's someone who's actually kind of having a little trouble with their motherly nature, that they're having a hard time maybe getting out there and running around in the field with their emotional body. Maybe their emotions are a little heavy for them. Now the foundation is the Leo card, or the Strength card, and this is telling me this person is getting a handle on it. Okay, they're subdued the animal nature. They may not have been able to break free yet in their spiritual growth here, but it's coming. They're doing it. It's coming, and they've got the courage to do it too. Here we have the Tower card in the past, thank goodness. So there's probably the reason they're in for this reading is that they've had a bunch of stuff coming down. All right, a lot of changes, a lot of stuff. They're feeling pretty mixed up. Now above, this is where we're getting energy from source energy, from higher energy is coming down, and the Star card is one of our most hopeful, wonderful keys to give us inspiration for the future. So that bodes very, very well that this is what's coming in. So if I had this person, I would say this person's is gonna be able to break free of this. Is gonna be able to move because they've got this coming down. They're getting a lot of help. Oh my goodness. And then in the near future, so this I would consider anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks would be the near future to me. They are going to get enlightened, right? They're going to get a lot of good information, and all of this is going to seem like a bad dream to them. Now, this setup, this part of the Celtic Cross is pretty typical for, you know, I've seen it in most readings across the, you know, seeing other readers and that kind of thing. And now there's going to be this column over here to the right side. And I've seen readers do all sorts of different things and kind of have a little bit varying ideas on how they're read too. Now this one, and I'm just going to read them straight up. I have seen some readers put this first card and kind of build a little block around here, but I'm just going to go straight up in the column. And we've got the Fool. Now this is the here and now. And like I said, these 4 cards I'm going to put up. I've seen slightly different interpretation ideas on these too. So, but this is here we're, you know, right now, today, the here and now, what we're doing. This person is getting ready to start the new. They're starting to break free. They're gonna do good. The second card is the Environment, and I'm going to call that, oh goodness, I must be going too long here if I've got a second bong here. This is a Jupiter card, the Karma card, the Wheel of Fortune. This is their environment, and it's not only like where you live, but it's also could be your family, you know, who you're working with, all those kinds of things. So this is telling us, you know, we're getting some good support. You know, that's our, you know, that's good fortune. Now for our hopes and fears, oh, we're still sort of afraid about what we're losing though. So really, the more things we can let go of, probably, I would say, the better off we're going to be. But this is our hopes and fears. You know, I always kind of think of that as our be careful what you wish for, right, card, because you can get it, and this person does need to let go of some stuff for sure. And then the final card is the Outcome, and I like it. You'll see some readers put it right next to this Source Energy card, which are the Above card, which I kind of think makes a lot of sense because they are kind of related. And here we are. The Outcome card is this person. I mean, they've got so much good support going on. They've got the pathway is right there in front of them. Now they've got this heavy stuff in the, you know, kind of in the past and their own personal fears. But if they can just get going, they're going to be doing okay. They're going to be doing good. And then for all these keys, if you got a key that kind of stumped you and you couldn't figure it out, you can do clarifiers. And you often see clarifiers, especially for this Outcome, so that you can like, oh, okay, get some more details on that and that kind of thing. And typically you'll see readers go out 1, 2, or 3 cards. Some I've seen do like a whole bunch, 20 or 30 keys to tell a story of what the outcome is. And this being the Justice card, this person is going to make it. They're going through some rough stuff, but they're going to really get some good symbols going on out there, you know, for their future and for what they've got ahead of them. So I would say that this is great. Anyway, okay. Now I want to show you just one more spread. And I'm sorry I'm going so long here, but I'll try to go as quickly as possible here. Just because this has become my kind of go-to favorite spread that I like so much. So I kind of want to introduce you guys to that one too. I mean, like I said, that Celtic Cross is the one you see the most of in most places, but you know, I just want to show you this one last spread. Okay, so I'll do a quick little shuffle here. And this spread I got from Lori Pointer, who you can just Google her and find her information. She's actually a healer. So if you do any physical issues going on, she's great for that. But I've done several workshops with her. And her reading, which is kind of a little bit more simple, is just, oh, here's the key for the here and now. So this is what's happening right now, and we're getting ready to start something new. And of course, ask your question, do your shuffling and cut. And now this is the bigger picture. Whoa, you may not exactly know what's, this would be telling me, yeah, you're ready. You're starting something new, but you still got some old stuff to clean up. Okay, the bigger picture is you're not out of the woods yet. This would be your challenge. Oh, goodness. So this is kind of like that crossing card. The challenge would, be to just remember, you got to let go of things to let the new come in. That's just all there is to it. And working with that, just remember, with every death, there's a rebirth. And of course, this doesn't mean physical death. And then the one thing I like about this reading is this is the action to be taken. And maybe, I struggle with that. Am I a human being or a human doing? But I do like getting some direction of what I need to do. So with the Magician, this is the, the manifestation card. This is the one where you need to start really boning up on your manifestation skills and start to clear this old stuff out for sure. And then the outcome card, which is all about, getting with the, this is also the Pope. So this is the institutions, what the question was around. Whatever you have created here, what you can create, and what you've been able to let go of to get you started on that new path, is going to be very well received with your job, with bosses, with any kind of structures and institutions and that kind of thing. Okay, well, I think I've gone on way too long. Plenty here for you to think about. So just remember, from there to here, from here to there, funny things are everywhere. Bye!